The last thing that we have to talk about in this whole lovely series that we've been doing with right triangle trigonometry is how to find an angle in a right triangle. All right. And so you're going to find out that a lot of the stuff that we do today will kind of feed off of the last couple of days that of this online class that we've been doing. But the only thing that will be really different is how you actually solve the problem. Okay. And so hopefully you have got a lot of practice by now, and today will be a fairly easy day. So if you need to review, make sure you go back and look at the old videos. But what we are talking about today is the last thing, and that is how to find an angle using trigonometry. Okay. And so, again, when you're setting up these problems to solve them, just like yesterday, you have to make sure that your calculator is set in degrees. And so remember, if you have the typical calculator that we've been working with, you just hit the mode button. Oh, let me turn it on. You just hit the mode button, and then you go down and highlight degree, which it'll focus. Oh, just like yesterday, we got to zoom in so you can see. All right, so you just highlight degree and press enter. Okay, if you're using the Desmos app, you will go to in the graph in the upper right corner, there is a wrench. You'll click on that, and then you'll click on degrees, and it'll automatically set in degrees for you. Okay, so after that, everything else will be the same except for, like I said, the solving part. And so we're actually going to go straight to an example so that you can see that it is the same as yesterday. And that way we can talk about how to solve the problem. All right. So notice, again, we are working on what to do when you have to find an angle. And so in these problems, they're going to ask you to find what the measure of the angle is. All right. So in this problem, you've got a right triangle. You're given that you have to find x, which notice is in the angle, and then you're given two sides. So let's get started. So the first thing that you have to do is figure out where you're standing. So if you remember yesterday, I told you it's either going to be the angle you're given or the angle you have to find. So if you're having to find an angle in the triangle, then you're going to stand at the angle you have to find. Okay. So we're going to be standing because we have to find this angle right here. We're going to stand at that angle. And then we label our sides, which remember the sides you're going to label the hypotenuse, then the opposite, and then the adjacent. So the hypotenuse is across from your 90. So this is your hypotenuse. The opposite is opposite of where you're standing. So this would be the opposite. And then the adjacent is beside you, but it's not your hypotenuse. Okay. And so from there, just like yesterday, we have to figure out which function we're using. So remember, to do that, you get rid of a side. And so in this problem, it's probably going to be the side that you're not given information about. If you're given information about all three sides, then you just get rid of one of them, whichever one you feel like getting rid of, okay? But notice in this problem, we don't know anything about this adjacent side. So that one we will get rid of. And then you look at what's left. Okay, and then this is where you have to remember your trig. So the trig, remember, you can remember it by that sentence or this acronym, so TOA. And then from there, you have to look at the side you're left with and figure out which one of these goes with that. All right, and so opposite and hypotenuse, if I look, the sine function is the opposite over the hypotenuse. So that means that I'm going to be using the sine function. All right, so it's going to be sine of your angle. So notice the angle is x, so it'd be technically sine of x equals, and then sine is opposite over hypotenuse. So my opposite is 15 over the hypotenuse is 20. And so that is the setup of the problem. And now we finally get to talk about how do I actually solve this problem? Well, when you're solving for an angle, if you remember yesterday, I kept saying that these two things, the angle and the function, go together, okay? And so this would technically be the sine of x. So then how in the world do you get the sine away from x? Because it's not the same thing as sine times x, it's sine of x, all right? And so that's actually what we need to talk about. To get the sine away from the x, what you actually have to do is the opposite of sine, which is the inverse of sine, okay? So the inverse of sine looks like this. It's the sine function, but with a little -1 in the exponent looking part, okay? And so what you're actually doing is taking the inverse of sine of this part of it right there. And when you do that, what happens is they actually will cancel out. Okay. Now, if you remember, algebra wise, whatever you do to one side, you have to do the other. So when I come over here and I do the inverse of sine to this, you actually have to put it in front of that fraction. All right. And so these will go away. So the x will be by itself on this side. And then, like I said, that sine inverse has to actually go in front of that fraction. So it'd look like this. All right. And then, and a lot of times in your calculator, you'll put it in parentheses. Okay. And then all you have to do is type it in your calculator. And again, if you do not have a calculator at home, you are more than welcome to stop right here and write that as your answer, because all you'd have to do is, when you get a calculator, is just type it in, okay? But if you actually have one, I'll grab my Desmos app real quick. Remember, you have to make sure that your Desmos is set in degrees, okay? And let me zoom in just a little bit because you can't see it very well. Takes a second to kind of get focused. There we go. All right. So when you type this in, you'll go to functions and you'll see that all the little inverses are beside the regular function. So we're doing the inverse of sine. So it'd be inverse of sine. And then you just type in your fraction. So 15 over 20. And then you can close your parentheses. Oh, it put the 20 in parentheses, it's okay. And notice it gives you your answer. So x would equal 48.59. And now the thing you need to remember is we are actually finding the angle here. All right. So this is not the length of a side like what we were doing yesterday. This is actually the angle, which is a degree. And so that means that the measure of this angle would be about 48.59 degrees. All right. So when solving for an angle, the thing you have to remember is you have to do the inverse of whichever function you're using. So I'm just going to put a little blank for that function. All right. So let's do a couple more problems because you'll notice that these kind of have a pattern. Like a lot of them will work very much in a similar way. And so once you kind of see how a couple of them work, usually people don't have an issue moving forward and doing it themselves. All right. So the next problem, it says you have to find the measure of angle A. So when you see M with a little angle, that means measure of angle A. So in other words, we're finding that angle right there. So if it makes you feel better to put an X in that angle, you're more than welcome to do that. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a little arch there, or a little dot in the corner, and I'm just going to use as my variable the A. All right. So this problem will work the same way. You start by figuring out where you're standing, which notice it's the angle you're finding. So we've already got that. Then you label your sides. So labeling my sides, the side opposite of the 90-degree angle is your hypotenuse. The side that's opposite of where you're standing is the opposite. And then the side that's beside you, but not your hypotenuse, is your adjacent. Then you figure out which function you are using. And so remember, this is where you get rid of a side. And so think about which side we'll get rid of. It's the one that you don't have to find and you don't really know anything about. And so in this problem, if you look, we don't know anything about the hypotenuse and we don't have to find it. So we get rid of that. Then you remember your trig. So SOHCAHTOA. And then you look at the side that's left. We're left with, or the sides that are left. We're left with the opposite and the adjacent. So think about which function deals with both of those. And that would be the tangent function. So that means we're using the tangent, and it's the tangent of your angle. So the angle is A. So I'm going to put an A so I can remember I'm finding angle A. And then tangent is opposite over adjacent. So that would be opposite is 3 over the adjacent is 4. And now I'm finding the angle. So to solve, remember we use the inverse of whichever function. So we have to do the inverse of tangent. And then what we do to one side, we have to do to the other. And so these will kind of go each other or go away. And we'll be left with angle A. And then it's going to equal whatever the tangent inverse or the inverse of tangent of 3 over 4 is, okay? And now you want to put measure of angle A just so that we have some proper notation going on. But again, if you do not have a calculator, you can leave it like that, or you can just type it in. So with this one, you would type in tangent inverse. And if you're using the calculator, you'll notice that the inverse is above the regular function. So you'll press second and then you'll press it to pull it up. Sorry, you guys can't see that. See if it'll focus in on it. Oh, I guess I'll have to zoom in. So let me zoom in real quick. There we go. So it's the tangent inverse, and then you type in your fraction, 3 divided by 4. And then it'll tell you the answer. So we got 36.87 if I round to the nearest hundredth. So 36.87. And remember, that is an angle. So make sure that you put the degrees with it. All right. Let's do one more. So the last one, we have to find x, which is, notice, x is in the angle spot. And so remember, you stand at the angle that you're finding. Okay, and so when I stand at that angle, now I have to label my sides. All right, so the side opposite of the 90-degree angle is your hypotenuse. The side opposite of where you're standing is the opposite side. And then the side that's beside you, but not the hypotenuse, is the adjacent. And then you get rid of a side to figure out which function you're using. So notice the one we don't know anything about is opposite. So I'm going to get rid of it. Then I go to the side and I write down my trig so I can figure out which one I'm going to use. So I'm left with adjacent hypotenuse. So I'm going to look at them and I notice that the cosine is the adjacent and the hypotenuse one. So I'm going to use cosine, and it's the cosine of your angle. So there's an x in the angle spot. So cosine of x equals, and cosine is adjacent over hypotenuse. So that would be 11.3 over the hypotenuse's 15. All right, so to solve, to get the cosine away from the x, I do the opposite of cosine. So it'd be cosine inverse. And you have to do the inverse on both sides. So when I do that, these will cancel because they're opposites of each other. So I'm left with x, and x would equal whatever the cosine inverse of 11.3 over 15 is. All right, and again, you can leave your answer like that, or you can type it in. So I'll type it in real quick. 11.3 divided by 15. And then we get 41.12. So x would equal 41.12, and that's an angle. So make sure you put the degree with it. There we go. Make sure you let me know if you have questions. Have a lovely day.